feels unheard doesn't mean it's unanswered. In this video, we're going to reveal the real reason prayers go unanswered, how to deal with spiritual frustration, and why prayer is still powerful, even in the silence. Because prayer does work, but not always in the way you expect. If you've ever struggled with unanswered prayers or wondered why prayer is important in the Christian life, this message is for you. You think the silence means God forgot you? No. The silence means He's working on something deeper than what you prayed for. You're asking for breakthrough. He's building endurance. You're begging for change. He's preparing your character to sustain it when it comes. In Scripture, silence was never wasted time. Joseph sat in prison for years. No vision, no voice, no favor. But when God finally moved, it wasn't just release. It was elevation to Pharaoh's right hand. Why? Because prison taught him what the palace never could. David was anointed king and then ran for his life. Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness, not because God was gone, but because God was getting him ready. So, if heaven is quiet right now, don't assume neglect. Assume preparation. God's not ignoring you. He's shaping you in secret for what He'll reveal in public. And that silence? It might be the sound of God getting everything in place, including you. Here's the question most believers avoid. What if the reason your prayer hasn't been answered is you? Not because you're unworthy, but because your heart isn't aligned with what you're asking for. James 4:3 says it plainly. When you ask, you do not receive, because you ask with wrong motives. That verse hurts, but it also helps, because it shows us that God doesn't just hear the words of our prayers. He hears the motives behind them. You may be asking for a relationship, but He hears your loneliness. You're praying for success, but He sees the pride you're not ready to confront. You're begging for a door to open, but He knows you'd walk through it without Him. God's not punishing you, He's parenting you. And like any good father, He'll say no or not yet. Not because He's cruel, but because He's kind enough to protect you from premature blessings. Because sometimes the scariest thing isn't unanswered prayer. It's getting exactly what you want before you're ready to carry it. Most people think prayer is just about getting something from God. But what if it's actually about becoming someone God can trust with the answer? Prayer isn't just asking, it's aligning. It's not about bending God to your will. It's about surrendering your will to His. What if the breakthrough you've been begging for is waiting on the version of you that's still being formed? In the waiting, God isn't passive. He's watching closely. Will you still obey without applause? Will you worship when there's no reward? Will you trust Him when He's quiet, or only when He's obvious? Because the truth